And here's another interesting story. They want to clear the countryside. They also want to create food shortages, but they want to clear the countryside. And this is all laid out in various documents that I quoted in the books over the years. Agenda 2030 out of the UN, Agenda 21 as it was before it was updated to Agenda 2030. There's also documents, again, UN connected, that that talk about basically just getting people out of the countryside into cities. And here's an article by Sandy Adams, who I actually met. Very nice lady, she seemed to be. And the headline is, Could a zoonotic COVID-19 outbreak be used to evacuate our countryside? And this is what she said. I keep hearing the word zoonotic being bandied about in the press in the last few days. Could this be a form of preparation for what's coming? Well, if it's in the media, then that's almost taken as read. I've been wondering how the next phase of the global UN Agenda 2030 could be played out. After all, the endgame plan is to rewild the countryside and herd us all into their smart controlled cities and habitation zones. I found what could be the answer on the United Nations Environment Programme's website yesterday. Here is the UNEP's fact sheet for zoonotic diseases. This is what they say. COVID-19 is a zoonotic disease, meaning that it jumps between animals and people and is therefore closely connected to lands they inhabit. Human and economic activity is eroding wild spaces, forests and other important ecosystems, bringing closer to reservoir hosts, animals and plants that can harbor diseases. COVID-19 underscores the relationship between human health and nature and reveals a fundamental problem. Humans have unlimited needs, but the planet has limited capacity to satisfy them. Often, land degradation is caused by unsustainable human consumption and needs. Scientists and specialists working at the UN Environment Programme have been pulling together the latest scientific facts about the coronavirus, what we do know about the virus and what we don't know. While the origin of the outbreak and its transmission pathways have yet to be discovered, well, yes, because there is no discovery to be made. It's a scam. Here are 6 important points worth knowing. And if the UN is saying this, you know the cult is saying this because the cult created the UN and owns it. The interaction of humans or livestock with wildlife exposes them to the risk of spillover of potential pathogens. For many zoonoses, livestock serve as an epidemiological bridge between wildlife and human infections. The drivers of zoonotic disease emergence are changes in the environment, usually the result of human activities ranging from land use change to change in climate, changes in animals or human hosts, and changes in pathogens, which always evolve to exploit new hosts. And so this list goes on. And basically what they're saying is that COVID-19 can jump from animals to humans, and therefore there's a big problem to face. And the author of this article, Sandy Adams, says that not so long ago, there was something called science. It included the discovery of truth about nature, the universe, the elements, etc. It was practiced by honest and accountable practitioners called scientists and engineers, but generally they had no primal urge to use their knowledge to dominate others by the use of hidden agendas. Things are different now. The pseudoscience being peddled today has been skewed. It is now a system of theories and assumptions being touted as scientific truth to dominate and control people, society, and the whole planet. Pseudoscience is the domain of technocrats, and the technocratic society is what this Orwellian society is supposed to be. Real science is an inconvenience to their social engineering goals of leading the world towards being ruled by an Orwellian technocracy. a future where smart 5G AI cities and habitation zones exist to protect the human race from what's out there. There is absolutely no evidence at all, as stated by the UN, that COVID-19 was caused by animals. It wasn't caused by anybody. We are all now living with misinformation, disinformation, and deliberate fake news by those holding positions of trust. As the human race starts to wake up to the common sense truth about what's really happening, the secretive, unelected, and unaccountable cabal that makes up corporate and central banking deep state are speeding up their final global push to entrap and imprison humanity into a future of all-out tyranny. Jane Goodall, the primatologist honoured by the UN as a messenger of peace, stated a direct and chilling remark in a very recent interview with the World Economic Forum, the Davos Billionaires Club. She said bluntly, "If we don't do things differently, we're finished." She essentially believes that the world should preferably eat no meat at all, as due to zoonotic disease, it is dangerous to do so. So, from all of this, she says, it is my strong belief that a zoonotic disease introduced into livestock will be the driver of the next wave of the virus and will require a phased and deliberate legal evacuation of the countryside, the destruction of traditional farming and farming communities, not to mention a vegan diet of factory-farmed fruit and vegetables for all. I believe we've been given a chance to get this realistic scenario out to people. Let's seize upon it. Now, the detail, well, that's all for debate and consideration. But the principle described there, I think, is absolutely right, and I think it's coming.